Hello, I am Chris Lordson, and I'm an American, and I'm also Alaskan Eskimo. I was born in a small village in Alaska, near the mouth of the Yukon River, right off the Bering Sea. At the time, there were no schools in my village, and later on I had to go to boarding schools. I went to 3 boarding schools in Alaska and finished my education, high school in Alaska. Also, at the time that I graduated, my father and mother were both dead, and I had to work my way through college, which I did after several years. Sometime later, I joined the U.S. Treasury Department as a special agent, and I became a criminal investigator for the United States Customs Service. And as my duties involved were smuggling of narcotics, also the smuggling of jewelry and things like that, including also the shipment of arms out of the country, some of which were in South America and other places. I also was involved with various wiretaps I did in the Customs Service, and also did some undercover work during my time. And I also was a United States Sky Marshal in Europe and the Middle East. We were working against the Palestinian terrorists at that time for a couple of months, and that was the end of 1970. At that time, after that, I did various types of investigations. I worked at the seaport area. I worked LAX, the airport, for several years, and I finally retired out of the internal affairs of the U.S. Customs Service. Several years later, after I retired, I got involved with the Buddhist teachings out of Gardena, and got interested in the teaching of the Buddhist teachings, and it answered many of my questions regarding the cause and effect and things of that nature that bothered me over the years. I was fortunate enough to become a member, and later on I was able to go to Japan on 3 occasions, and went to the 2000 Tatami Mat Hall, including one of the inauguration time in 2005, and I also had a chance to write a small poem regarding that occasion. The small poem that I wrote in 2005 is called The Light of the Candle. This hall depicts a setting sun on a vast ocean. It should remind us that another day has passed and more than 6 billion people go to sleep in their sea of suffering. Each of us carries a small candle of enlightenment in a dark world where ill winds of anger, hate, and ignorance blow. Let not another day pass without carrying the light a little further. Okay. About 800 years ago, Master Sinran wrote down the teachings of Buddha and made it more legible for the humans to understand. And now, many years later, Takamone Sensei started teaching the Master Sinran's teachings and made it more legible, and especially to English, to understand the meanings of the teachings. I am very much impressed by the ability of Takamone Sensei to make it more easy for us to understand the teachings, which are really quite difficult to understand. And he has made it in such a fashion that most people can understand from the beginning to the end, particular areas that he's covering.